Hi, I'm Scott. I'm a Quiet Place fan.
Hi, I'm Senthil, and I'm a Bird Box fan.
So the two of us have decided, since we disagree, we're going to start watching as many horror movies as we can and come up with a new way of rate them. Come join us.
Hey, Scott, good to see you again.
Simple, it's great seeing you. Hey, what was the movie you chose for us?
So, we're going to talk today about a movie called The Dark that was released in 2018. The writer and director was Justin P. Lang, and this is also a small budget movie, and they did a pretty good job of it. There's some certain elements of it that I thought was really well done. It does have a limited number of practical effects in it. What did you think of the movie?
I so simple. You picked a winner. I have to tell you, at first, I didn't like this film. I really didn't. I was like, huh? But man, did it grow on me as the film moved forward, right? Especially as you get to the end, which I just absolutely freaking loved. Now, I'm going to say there was a scene in this that I had to fast forward through just because, again, it's that pedophile stuff, Simple, that I just can't.
I couldn't do it.
I can't do it, man. And there's no so the audience, if you're watching this, you're not seeing any nudity. It's just the positions they are in. And it was freaking uncomfortable, man. But I will tell you this, that I fast forwarded, so I saw it as it was happening, but that made the ending so much sweeter.
It did, and for our audience, again, I think we've done this before. This is a trigger movie. It's about two abused kids. It's a heartbreaking story about two abused kids and some very difficult moments to watch. Same as with you, Scott. I fast forwarded through a couple of scenes that I found it really difficult to watch. And also for this is a bit of a zombie movie that's not very difficult to figure out. They don't spend a lot of time explaining the how and the where, which I really loved because it didn't matter.
Yeah. Okay, wait a minute. Though, was it a zombie film or a ghost film? I'll argue that one with you because I think it was a ghost film.
Fascinating. What makes you say it was a ghost film?
Well, I don't think the character was a zombie. I think the character came back as the form that she was left in after being brutally beaten. And so she returned as that. And then what I loved about it is that she changed through the film as she found her humanity.
So the reason I thought it was, I even consider the fact that maybe what she was is how she felt rather than what she physically really was.
Oh.
But there were some elements that led me to believe she was more of a zombie than a ghost. The serial scenes. There are about 3 serial scenes in that movie.
Yes.
Where she's trying to find humanity in a literal sense. And she's trying to eat cereal and she ends up spitting it out and is unable to and ends up going after human flesh. But at the very end, you don't actually see her face initially. What you do is you see her eating cereal. And that's when it's, oh, okay, something's different. Something has changed. She's not who she used to be. It's a fascinating question in terms of who or what was she really?
Yeah.
Was it a manifestation of how she felt versus how she physically was?
Gosh, Cynthia, I didn't even think of it that way, but that's a beautiful way to think of it, right? Was because that's what she saw herself, and that's how she portrayed herself. Ow, I didn't even think of that. I thought that's what she looked like after the events occurred, right? And so wow. Yeah, so I will say, Cynthia, what I loved about this film is I thought the two kids who played these roles did an extraordinary job. Again, I'm impressed that people that young are capable of pulling off what I think are very difficult roles, right? So her transformation could not have been easy to do, and yet she pulled it off magically.
The boy as well does just a fantastic job because initially I wasn't sure if he was experiencing Stockholm syndrome, but that really wasn't it. He was more worried about he's been kidnapped. He's more worried about what the kidnappers told him would happen to his family.
Yes.
And that becomes evident near the end. At first, I wasn't really sure what to make of the ending, if that was literal, and it clearly was literal because she interacts with other humans. And then you have to go back and question, what did I really see happen throughout the movie? Was it what I thought I saw?
Well, so I was caught up in the whole too at the ending, right? So by the ending, now we have full interaction. And I was like, well, wait a minute. Was that what she looked like the entire time? And like
Yep.
and so Synthel, that opens the door to me to going, my God, Synthel, you know what? That's a so she saw herself like that, but other people did not see her like that, right? So that was the perception she had of herself. And so that's what we saw. Well, I was blown away by that because the ending was, I just thought, a tremendous ending. Again, this is another movie like one we just recently did, The Alpines, where you're not expecting the ending the way that it comes out.
I think they hit it out of the park in terms of everything fitting together well.
Well, I thought that the kids did way better than the adults in acting in this movie, right? So I was way more impressed with the two children, well, actually teens, right? I don't want to call them children, but over the adults. I have to say this director did an amazing job on the script. I also think the idea of placing this in the woods, right? Haunted Woods, Devil's Gulch, or whatever it was called. I can't remember right now offhand what it was, Devil's Valley, Devil's whatever. The thing is, there was all this lore built into it. And you come in knowing that there's going to be something horrible that happens, but then it kind of grows into these two abused kids learning to become kids again, right? And so it's a horror, but also a coming of age of abuse and coming out of that trauma and growing out of that trauma and realizing who you are. And I just thought the director did an amazing job of putting that together.
Any final thoughts, Scott?
No, you know what I would say is, if you've got a chance, again, this is another one of those films, put it in your watch queue. And if you have some time, give it a watch. It's worth it. I loved it.
I did too. I recommend the same. Once again, it's been great talking to you, Scott. Looking forward to the next time.
All right, Synthel. See you again.